Zimbabwe goes through the process of economic recovery, it is seen to be very important that all its citizens play a pivotal role in all business transactions that they carry out. Corruption, poor workmanship and other such operations bring down the economy, and business people are encouraged to come up with associations that ensure the provision of high-class products and services to its clients. In the construction industry, the Zimbabwe Building and Contractors Association was formed in 1985 with the mandate to, among other things, monitor the business of indigenous contractors within Zimbabwe. In this edition of your informative and educative program, Zimbabwe, the Awakening Giant, we tracked down members of this association to find out if they are living up to their billing. We spoke to Crispin Tarai, who is the CEO at the association, and he told us how the grouping came about.
The Zimbabwe Building Contractors Association was formed in 1985 to represent emergent indigenous contractors. We were then formalized in 1992 through the Ministry of Labour, registered through a constitution as an employer body in the construction sector, mainly to look after the interests of the emergent contractors that were coming in soon after independence. In terms of membership for the association, we are looking at contractors that are registered companies. The membership is open to the company, not to the individual. So our member, this is a membership organization. The member is a fully fledged company that joins the association as a member. So we can basically say that those companies out there, regardless of size, are eligible to become members of the association. But the association takes a deliberate effort to nurture small to medium enterprise companies so that they then have a meaningful role to play in the construction sector. The Zimbabwe Building Contractors Association is very clear on its needs to contribute meaningfully to the construction sector in this country. We would want to continue working with government and its agencies to ensure that together we develop the infrastructure that we need for our country, bearing in mind that we need sound infrastructure to be able to deliver sound economic and social development to our country. And we would want to say that as contractors, we don't look forward to a situation where we have got a repeat of the cholera scourge that we experienced a few days ago, because to us as contractors, we see that as failure of infrastructure, and we're here to play an important role to ensure that such pitfalls do not befall the nation in future.
Gerald Chiguma, the Senior Vice President of the organization, oversees most of the work being carried out by most committees in this body, and he tells us about the future plans of their organization in the construction sector as Zimbabwe rebuilds their economy.
We have got big dreams as Zimbabwean contractors. Look, as you all know, Zimbabwe is well behind in terms of infrastructural development. So we have got huge plans. We are heavily engaged with government and trying to work out how best we can work together in terms of bringing up the infrastructural development in Zimbabwe through dams, through roads, through rail. So we're engaging widely together with foreign investors to try and come up with initiatives that work. But obviously we're being drawn back by the lack of foreign currency. So most of the international donors, partners are shying away. But once that can be rectified, we're engaging government and seeing how best we can improve on our capacities, improve on training our members, making sure that we've got the right equipment, making sure that we have access to working capital. So once that can be addressed, we are good to go.
The regional chairperson of the Midlands Province, Dr. Tinashe Manzungu, gave us the organ's views on the mantra, Zimbabwe is open for business.
The Zimbabwe is open for business mantra that was voiced by His Excellency suggests a lot to us. This is the time that we feel was in short support from the government. We are saying the organ or the reason for ZBCA is to promote indigenously owned black business contractors to prosper in their country. For this case, Now we are saying open for business. We are saying yes, we are welcoming people who can come aboard and take part or take charge in the construction industry, in the built environment, in order to make sure that in the end of the day, Zimbabwe's GDP will be on a plus. We are saying we welcome everyone on board. We welcome all investors. We welcome all contractors to come into Zimbabwe, and with us in front, do or take part in the economic development part. Why us in front as executives? Is to assure us to say when profits are going to be realized. Of course, there is going to be some repatriation of profit to their mother nations, but as well as we, leading people in Zimbabwe, as investors, as people in business, will remain with something for our own country. So the moment we have Zimbabwe builders in front and other engineers or contractors coming in to join hands with us, then it means that's a plus for us in Zimbabwe. But if we let go, I think if we're going to be checking what's happening in other African countries or Asian countries, China is coming in to dominate. But in the end, we are hearing other bad stories where the Chinese are taking over assets forever. The other countries, you see now, we do not want such scenarios in Zimbabwe. We want to go on the lead. We want to know what government requires. We want to take charge even in government to say whatever projects in terms of construction projects that are required by government, they should be done with our voice as well. This means that the government will not be short-changed by these so-called investors in terms of pricing, in terms of say costing, in terms of quality control, you see, in terms of the ECGs, you see. So EPC. So you see that these contracts, if they are going to be done through the Association of Zimbabwean Building Contractors, we are going to have a plus as Zimbabwe. We will not have short projects or unfinished projects.
The government, through the central bank, has unveiled a retooling facility that will ensure that the association members are well equipped so that they meet the high standards required of them.
We have to also applaud the government in some of the synergies that were being involved in government. Recently, we have been allocated a $50 million facility with the RBZ as contractors for the purposes of retooling, for the purposes of making sure that we are going to have equipment, finance. If you're a contractor, we group together, we get to the RBZ, they disperse retooling requirements to say, probably we want to, in our project department, we need 5 graders, 10 tippers, maybe 3 excavators. They are worth, say, 700,000. The government is giving us to the market, to the RBZ, and we will repay that loan through normal disbursement procedures in a microcredit facility at only probably 10% interest for that credit loan. So this is what government has done for us, and this has been approved. And recently, the Minister of Finance announced that his report just 2 weeks ago, and we are very proud of that. We are very thankful for that. Yes, it's not enough, but it will take us up. We have to applaud the government for that. That's a positive note, right? We also work with local authorities, of course. Our contractors in Zimbabwe, we have more than 250 registered contractors who are active, not passive contractors. People who are active, and among that number, we have quite a number that is working with local authorities. They are being given contracts through tenders. You see, so it's a welcome idea because we are saying for us, for the association to survive, it survives through the membership. We wouldn't be surviving as we are today if we didn't have enough members to fund our operations as the Association of Building Contractors. So yes, it's a sign to say we are working with local authorities. I think in the next coming few days we'll be having a launching conference. We are also participating there where local authorities are meeting. So we are there as investors in their local authorities. We are very proud to be associated with our local authorities, and our objective to participate as Zimbabweans and make sure that we do good for the local authorities, we do good for the people, we do good for us, for ourselves as an industry. Then generally, for ultimately, we do good for Zimbabwe gross domestic product.
That was Dr. Tinashe Manzungu, the chairperson of the Midlands chapter of the Zimbabwe Building Construction Association, a grouping of mainly indigenous Zimbabweans who are in the construction industry, giving us his views on how they are working with various arms of government, both local and central, in their efforts to contribute towards the rebuilding of the economy. We take a short commercial break. When we return, we look closely at some of the events the association carries out to ensure growth within its sector. Welcome back. Today we are looking at an association representing various sectors of the construction industry in Zimbabwe, from civil engineering, road and dam construction, and general building, among others. Recently, the association held a regional conference and dinner in Gweru, and our team was on the ground and captured some of the highlights from that event. We joined that function as the CEO of the association gives us his official speech, and here he started by stating the importance of having a good relationship between the local authorities and the builders.
It is very important that local authorities and association build a strong partnership, because local authorities, you are the local level implementing agents of national government, and you are involved in providing infrastructural services to your community. And you are saying we are the workers, we are the builders who are available and we've got the quality service, so we should be able to nurture those synergies going forward. I'm also glad that we've got institutions of higher learning represented here. It is important because the institutions of higher learning, you are involved in training the various people that will then work in the sector. And I think we need to dialogue regarding producing that cadre that will be able to be assimilated by the industry. And then the industry also give new opportunities like attachments to ensure that the cadre then is prepared to take up various opportunities in the construction sector. Allow me to end by saying that our motto for this year's conference is engaging local stakeholders for strategic infrastructure development in Zimbabwe. And we're basically saying that the local person that needs to be in the forefront carrying out construction business in Zimbabwe. We agree with government. Zimbabwe is open for business, but that opening of business should be open to local contractors and local businesses as well. And then the investors can be behind us as we move to develop our country.
Engineer Nerera, the president of the association, in his speech touched on various issues affecting the construction industry, chief among them being the fact that they have remained a pressure group since 1985 instead of becoming an enacted body, hence hindering development in different sectors of this industry.
Like we've said before, it's an advocacy group, it's a pressure group. The reason why we are still there is because there's legislation that regulates us as an economy. We don't have an act of parliament. We are in the process, we have actually been fighting for this act to regulate contractors for the past possibly 15, 18 years now. I'm glad with Minister July is from Midlands, and he has assured us that this bill will be enacted by December this year. Hopefully it will happen. That bill will help us regulate this industry. It will help us regulate my issues among the from the clients to our stakeholders and the contractors themselves. It will also bring into line our paymasters. I just spoke about the bill because then the question would be, why are you still a pressure group? Why are you not an enacted body? My issues are to deal now which we really need to put our heads together on is the issue of local participation. It has been touched by my Vice President, and you can see positive examples of where local participation has given growth to the industry. For those of you who are from Harare, you are aware of the resurfacing work in Rwanda. If you now look at the amount of civil plant here in Harare from the companies that are doing civil works, you can see that it has grown. I think by last year they were doing something like maybe 6 kilometers a month. Now they can push up to 20 kilometers a month. But these are local contractors. So when you invest in local contractors, you get growth locally, and you also get growth within the system itself, unlike when you invest outside. I want to go back to our stakeholders. Our biggest challenge is you do not have a belief in your own people. This thing makes too much noise. When I say this, I'm talking to the the mayor here. I'm talking to the governor. We're talking to our banks. We're talking to our miners. The schools themselves. We are lacking this thing about local participation, local inward looking. You see what I mean. So I should take that tissue to South Africa. If you ask them, she will tell you that this is the strongest. It's a tissue. So what are we doing? We are promoting the South African industry and not ours.
They always say local is best. And those were actually the sentiments of Engineer Nerera as he was delivering his speech at a dinner recently held in Gweru. We take another short break. Please join us again shortly. Do you have a construction job that needs a professional touch? From houses to commercial buildings, pools and even security walls, Midlands Construction Services takes care of all those stages that give you sleepless nights, such as plan drawing, BOQs and all other construction services of any size. We also offer payment terms to qualifying clients. Contact our professional team on 0774 569 859 or 0715 454 168.
Midlands Construction Services. Let's build the world.
This is the third and final part of this week's edition of the program, Zimbabwe, the Awakening Giant. Today, we bring you highlights of a Midlands Building Contractors stakeholder dinner for the players in the construction industry. The Minister of State for the Midlands Province was represented at the event by the District Administrator, Mr. Joram Chimedza, and this is what he had to say to the gathering.
I am reliably informed that these gatherings have become an annual event in the Midlands where your association brings together contractors, manufacturers, suppliers of materials and services to discuss issues affecting your sector. I'm also informed that last year's event was very successful. Such events are highly recommended given the goodwill that our country is now enjoying from the outside world as Zimbabwe prepares to kickstart the rebuilding of the nation by renovating its infrastructure and creating new ones. I am glad, ladies and gentlemen, that this year's theme, I quote, creating a positive mindset and road towards our 2030 vision in the construction industry, unquote, does embrace government's target of making Zimbabwe a middle-class state by 2030. I also wish to see your association cultivating a strong relationship with local authorities in the province who are the custodians of provincial infrastructure development and maintenance at local level. This arrangement will make your association more visible in the region and afford you an opportunity to influence provincial infrastructure development. This is the challenge that I'm leaving with you today. Government welcomes platforms like this one where it is afforded an opportunity to engage business so as to discuss issues facing the construction industry, thus building healthy business relationships anchored on trust and shared ideals. The province is richly endowed with mineral deposits such that your members should engage provincial mining sector players in order to build the necessary infrastructure at the mines. The province's capital city, of course, is the third largest city in Zimbabwe and has vast infrastructural maintenance and development opportunities for your members. I am reliably informed, ladies and gentlemen, of the good working relationship that you enjoy with councils, as previously mentioned. It is common knowledge that the construction sector is a key industry for any economy as it provides the building blocks for commercial activities such as roads, railways, airports, offices, schools, hospitals, dams, mines, stadia, and information communication technology infrastructure, to mention but just a few. I'm also pleased to note that government of Zimbabwe has these infrastructure projects lined up under the auspices of various ministries and are open for bidding by local contractors. Mr. President, sir, I, as a resident minister, appreciate your passion for the construction sector, given the awareness and networking activities that you continue to organize, not only in the Midlands, but throughout the entire nation. I would like to call upon all contractors in the Midlands to register with your association so that you can achieve strength in numbers and be effective when lobbying and advocating to public and private institutions in the region. Zimbabwe has declared through His Excellency the President, Comrade E.D. Mnangagwa, that it is open for business. Therefore, registration of suppliers and contractors in the region with your association will ensure that you are well represented when ensuring that local players benefit from the Zimbabwe is open for business mantra. As a new dispensation government, we are committed to delivering quality services to the Zimbabwean populace, so much so that it is easier and effective for government to monitor and control the quality of works done by contractors that are registered with a body such as yours.
That was the speech of the Minister of State for the Midlands Province, read on his behalf by the District Administrator, Mr. Joram Chimeza, at a dinner event for various players in the construction industry that was recently held in Gweru. Finally, we spoke to the Midlands Regional Chairperson of the Building Contractors, Dr. Tinashe Manzungu, to find out what their vision for the future is.
We want to create a billionaire out of the contractors in Zimbabwe. As an association, we are not there to export services. We are there to promote services, to invite investment, to make sure that there is great investment within the localities or confines of Zimbabwe, and make sure that there's going to be the next billionaire being a contractor who is a Zimbabwean individual. Technocrats that we have in construction, yes, in Zimbabwe do have, because that's why you find that a lot of people are being exported. The best thing that we're exporting in Zimbabwe is education, right? We are exporting graduates out of the country. They are there in Ukraine, in Russia, everywhere to do what's not being done in Zimbabwe. So it means in Zimbabwe we are very much qualified here, the technical project, but we are short giant to finance, to facilitate ourselves. And this is where the whole mathematics comes. The moment we have the knowledge that we have, plus the finance to do that, is equal to a successful country in terms of infrastructure development.
Well, Zimbabwe, we hope you enjoyed what we brought to you today, as we proved beyond reasonable doubt that only Zimbabweans themselves can take the reins and propel our economic ship into greatness. We have come to the end of our program for today. Until next time, same station, stay blessed.